If you have followed me for long, you know that talking about systems, processes, and workflows is something I do frequently. So one of the first things that people frequently say to me is, "Oh, I don't have systems, or I don't need systems." Okay, well, number one, we all have systems, whether we are aware of it or not. If they're not intentional, likely our systems are just our habits strung together to complete a certain task or project. We all have them. The question with workflows and processes, are they intentional? Have we designed them for ease and for efficiency? Or are they, well, just what naturally evolved that in all likelihood is not as efficient or as easy as it would be with a little intentional thought? So systems, processes, workflows, you can call them many different things, and they are critical. They're critical to help us get from where we are today to that desired future that we have in mind, those results that we have set for the end of the year or for the end of the quarter. So I've been working on some workflows in my own business, and it's just interesting. Right now I'm doing a lot of process work with clients also. And all of this time focused on process is prompted me to do some thinking about how I think about processes and what can I teach clients? What is really the most essential? Even if they bring someone in like me to help them create the process, what is it that's important for all of us to understand that is, well, honestly, pretty simple and makes everything better? There's 4 questions, and they really lead to us having the answer of what is it that we want at the end of creating a workflow. So we want to begin with the end in mind. There's 4 questions. Question 1 is, what is the workflow? What are we trying to create with this workflow that we have in mind? So what is it exactly? Question 2 is, what will success look like when that workflow or process is functioning really well? What will success look like? Now, here's a little hint. You need to go beyond easy and efficient. That's usually where we stop, is, well, I want it to be efficient. Well, what exactly does efficient look like? We need to be able to know when the workflow or process is going, is it working? And to do that, we need to define ahead of time, what will success look like? Question 3, who benefits when this workflow is working well? And here's another hint. There may be more than one person or group that benefits. Usually there's a primary, and then sometimes there's a secondary beneficiary. And the last question, what starts this process or workflow and what ends it? Those are the 4 questions that really is what we need to be thinking through and answering prior to beginning any actual development of a workflow or process. I said that I've been working on one in my own, well, several, but I'm going to focus on one today and use it as an example to walk through these 4 questions. Question 1, what is it that we're trying to accomplish? What do I want to accomplish with this workflow? Well, for me, it is a workflow around creating my weekly content. Well, actually creating content, and then where I use it and how I use it. So that's what that's what the workflow is about, is creating content. So what does success look like? Yes, I did the same thing I just warned you about. I started with, well, I want it to be easy and efficient. Great. How do I recognize easy and efficient? So when I went back and I asked myself that question the second time, I need something that is has a dashboard function, so that I can look in one place to see where I am in the process of creating any particular pieces of content, and where I have used that content and how different pieces may or may not be linked together. So that is what I need. And then the last piece is, I need to be able to find the content after I've used it once. So I need to have a way of organizing it so that I can get back to it easily and quickly. That is what it will look and feel like when this workflow is working well. So who benefits from this workflow? Well, this is what I call a backstage workflow. It doesn't directly impact anyone who reads, listens, or watches any of my content. It's really about making things easier for me. So I benefit when this workflow is working well. Now, all of you who read, listen, and watch things, you also benefit, but it's like secondary benefit, because when my system is working well, I am more likely to be consistent in releasing content, and there's a likelihood that my content is going to become even better because I'm not distracted by the process of creating it. So question 4, what is the beginning of this process and what is the end? Well, for me, the beginning is I need to be able to capture ideas. Sometimes I have an idea for a piece of content and I'm not ready to develop it right now, but I want to capture that all in one place. So when I'm looking through my content, it's right there. So that's the beginning part, is to capture ideas. The ending part for me is to know where things are stored and where I've used them. So those are the beginning and the ending points of this workflow. Now, as you can tell, even though this is my workflow, you probably have been in your head going, well, that would mean I would need to do whatever. So when we have those 4 questions, even if you don't really take it further and document your workflow, again, really consider documenting it. It makes it so much better. But if you don't, the likelihood is that your process is going to go much better and be much more efficient simply because we've given thought to these 4 questions. Thinking about our thinking. And these are some worthy thoughts of processes, systems, and workflows.